All right, cool. Well, let's do it.
Okay. So, well, I can open up if you want. First of all, I would like to begin by saying how amazing it is to have you with us, Dave. Really, it is. And I'm pretty sure that the Spanish CrossFit community will be delighted to listen to this conversation. So thank you very much for making some time for us. To be honest, I know we're going to be talking about the Open, the CrossFit Games. A lot of things has been going on for the past year. But the first thing I would like to ask you is what CrossFit actually means to you. It certainly means a lot of things for a lot of people. So, well, what does CrossFit mean to Dave Castro?
So that's a big question, because for me it's been so much of my life and so much of who I am for almost 2 decades, from basically 2005 to now. I've been doing CrossFit and working for CrossFit, so it's the entirety of my life, and it's it's my professional. It's what I do professionally. It's also what I do for fitness. It's also how I train and have a breakaway from everything else in life. So for me, it's, I don't want to say it's everything, but it is like, it's a significant piece of who I am, what I've become. The first decade of my life was largely defined by my time in the military. So my 20s to 30s was all in the Navy. And then this period of my life, my 30s to 40s, has all been defined by being involved in CrossFit and working for CrossFit. So it's definitely something very significant and very, it'll be with me for the rest of my life too, that's for sure. I work out, and I don't think, like, sometimes, there's a lot of little trends that come around bodybuilding and like doing isolation movements and some of that stuff for CrossFitters, accessory work. And, like a few times I've tried doing some of that other stuff, and I'm just like, well, this is just pointless compared to like just doing CrossFit and just working out for what my goals are. And like, I don't have any goals to get bigger biceps or bigger triceps or bigger quads, but I have goals to stay fit, and I have goals to maintain a healthy lifestyle. And all I need for that is just standard CrossFit programming. And so for me, I've never been in an environment where I'm like, okay, I'm going to stop CrossFit and I'm going to do this other stuff. It's just CrossFit is what I do, and it is what I will do for the rest of my life. There won't be any other way of training, because it's effective and all I feel I need.
Telmo, can I say something?
Yeah, absolutely. Please
Yeah,
ahead.
first of all, I don't know if I'm going to say anything, because I didn't know how Telmo speaks English. It's the first time I heard Telmo speak in English. And maybe I won't say anything, because I didn't know you speak English that well. I don't know. That's a lot of pressure for me. Dave, let me ask you something. Did you train today?
Yes, I did.
Can I ask you, what did you do?
Yeah, before that, I'll tell you this. I train every 3 days on, 1 day off. I'm super old school. I'm super traditional CrossFit, and I do one workout. And today was my day one of my day two of my 3-day cycle. And let me tell you what I did. I just need to think to make sure I'm not hinting anything, because sometimes I do elements of what we plan on using in the Open or at further competition. And actually today I did not. So I can tell you what I did. Today's workout was pretty straightforward. I always warm up on 5 minutes on the Concept 2 bike. So I spin for 5 minutes, and then I'll go through some simple stretches to warm me up for whatever workout I'm going to do. I rarely ever have a plan, or I rarely ever have my 3-day cycle programmed out. I usually come up with it on the fly, and I kind of stick to themes though, or areas. So recently I've been doing a lot of lunging, because squatting was just impinging my hip and making me a little tight, back squatting or high rep air squatting. So I decided to just open that area up and lunge more. And actually one of the Erosti guys suggested just doing some lunging. So I've been lunging a lot more. because I really still do want to maintain some leg strength and not squat as much as I have to. And so what I did was, and yesterday, I'll tell you what I did yesterday too. I deadlifted yesterday, so I did some heavy deadlifts, some triples, and then that was it. I was short on time. And then so today, to complement that, I did 5 steps overhead walking lunge with a kettlebell overhead on the right arm. When I got to the 5-step spot, I did 5 burpees, and then 5 steps back, overhead walking lunge with the left arm, and then 5 burpees there. And that was 1 round. And so I did 5 rounds of that. So a total of 50 burpees and, you know, down and back with the lunges. And it took about, I think it was 7 or 8 minutes. And it was good. It got me going, got my heart rate up, and it's all I needed for the day. And that was
your workout for today. This 7-8 minutes. That's all.
Yes.
Nice.
Classic CrossFit. Classic CrossFit.
Very classic CrossFit. And so I work out on my own. So I don't go into an hour class. And because of that, I'm able to, you know, sometimes I'll spend an hour working out or an hour and a half. Sometimes I'll spend 20 minutes. Today I had a lot going on. I had this too. And so I did want to finish the workout before this. So I went home. I'm not at home right now. I'm at the ranch. So I went home, squeezed it in, got a quick workout in, got some lunch, ran a quick errand, and then came over here.
Nice.
So because I don't go to an hour class, I'm able to like sometimes just compress the time and just really work out quickly.
So I think this is the first great announcement. Burpees, lunges, deadlifts, some overhead squats. That's going to be probably the 21.1 watt for this year.
Yeah, very true.
And actually, I was thinking right before starting to record the conversation that 2021 is actually the 10th anniversary of the CrossFit Open. And I mean, I think I've never heard talking about the 10th anniversary of the CrossFit Open. Am I right?
Is it? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have not talked about it because I didn't realize it. If that's true, that's pretty crazy. Is it the 10th Open or the 10-year anniversary? Because, you know, in 2019, we had 2 Opens. Huh? Well, I guess it would be the 10-year because in 2020, we skipped an Open. No, you're right. No, I haven't thought about that. But that's a good thing to note.
Well, it was a lightning thought. I didn't realize until it came to me, so it's all right. So in this 10th anniversary, it got me thinking that probably you have one favorite open workout.
Yeah, let's see. What's my favorite open workout? I think maybe the 7 minutes of burpees.
No way. No fucking way.
Not to do, but I like as of how it played out and what people thought of it and how hard it was. Because it was so simple, yes, so difficult and so challenging. And that's why I really like it. It kind of is like the essence of CrossFit. And you look at like how I'm talking about, I do CrossFit, you know, so much of what I do is just core CrossFit, and that's really core CrossFit.
Yeah, but don't you think this kind of workouts, if you want, we can talk a little bit about specific training, this kind of workouts, because I remember watching the leaderboard and the first big name qualifying after this event was like Rich Froning in the 123 place. So this kind of particular events with no weights and no gymnastics, maybe they switched a little bit everything, right? What do you think about it?
Yo, you're absolutely right. That style, that doesn't mean, I'm not saying it's the best test. I'm just saying it's my favorite.
Yeah, you're right.
One of the ones I like. But you're absolutely right. It's the same exact thing if we do a 1 rep max squat clean or a 1 rep max. You know, there's always the weightlifters who are going to do really well on it, on a weight lift, and on a body weight thing, it's going to be a really light guy usually. But it's still one of my favorite workouts. If you want to ask me what like one of my most favorite total tests are, I think I would have answered that a little differently. But I will say this about it. Do you remember who had the highest score in that workout for the males?
No.
Scott Panchik, I think.
Damn, that's really good. Here's why that's really good. No, you're right. And no one ever, I always ask this question, no one ever gets it. Here's why no one ever gets it. Everyone always says, yeah, some guy from Russia. And that is, no, it's true. There was a guy from Russia who had the highest score on that workout. He was like a gymnast or something. But what no one ever mentioned, you're the first one who's ever mentioned this, so bravo, was he tied for first place with some other dude. And the other dude was Scott Panchik. And so like no one ever, because Scott Panchik at the time wasn't the Scott Panchik that we know now. He was a different competitor. You actually caught me off guard with that you knew that. That's good.
Bien, Telmo. Muy bien, Telmo.
Yeah. One point for me. 1 point for me. Probably that was the only workout I remember who took first place. So that's good. Well, actually, talking about the Open, I really wanted to ask, how is programming for the CrossFit Open? What do you think is the biggest challenge this year?
Well, the biggest challenge is for sure the shutdowns of gyms and the closures around the country and around the world of affiliates. Because so in years past, when we've had, well, every year, the number of open submissions, we have two paths to submit for an open workout. You can do it in an affiliate, or you can do video and submit a video. 99.9% of all the submissions are from an affiliate. And so if affiliates are closed, like they are all around the world, that doesn't bode well for us. So the biggest challenge has been, how do we get people motivated and excited and wanting to participate in this environment where the gyms, the affiliates are closed? Because, it's not, and a lot of people don't so I'm an outlier. I like to work out by myself and I do my own thing, but I'm definitely an outlier. That is not the norm. A lot of people need their communities, and there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not being critical, but a lot of people need their communities and their gyms to find motivation to work out, much less to compete in something like the Open. To compete in something like the Open, you really need your family behind you. When I say family, I mean your gym family and your affiliate family to help motivate you to go to that next level. So that was one of the biggest challenges. And then from there, trying to make it work, keeping that in mind. So one of the things was for the gyms that are open, and we believed at the time when we decided on doing the Open here that stuff would start to open up, and it is starting to open up. How is it there, by the way?
How is Telmo?
Well, it's been challenging. Right now, there's some places in our country that are closed. We just opened last week, and I think things got pretty rough in the area where actually Edu is, which is from Catalonia. They have like maybe 3 to 4 shutdowns.
Yeah, we have 3 shutdowns. But we've been open for the last 28 days, I think. So we've been a little bit running. But for me, the biggest problem is not how many days we've been closed, is that we are not able to get a lot of people in the box right now. So this party that opens mean for a lot of people, like having a barbecue and drinking some beers and making the workout with a lot of people, we are not allowed to do it because we only can put like 16 to 18 people in. We're gonna make something out. I don't know. I still don't know what. Maybe we break the law. I don't know. But I think about the Open as a party. I don't understand the Open without being a big party with all the community, as you said. So I don't know how it's gonna be. We've been 28 days open, so the people is kind of work out and already exercise.
From Catalonia?
The rider? Yeah, he's from Catalonia.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask you about sport later. Because I want you with a t-shirt. I don't want to talk about it then. I'm gonna save this question for later. I would like to ask you something about the workouts. I'm not gonna ask you what are the Opens because I know the answer. But I think that programming the Opens is like a little bit like making a record. I mean, you have some elements, you have some rules, and you have to combine them to make the most beautiful thing that you can with these elements. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like a little bit artistic. I'd like to know where do you take the inspiration?
Are you in the music industry? Yeah,
a little bit.
It's definitely like making a record or an album. More so the games, and more so that because there's, you know, you have 12 tracks on an album. The games have 12 workouts, and so the Open's like a small little record. The Open's like a what's that called? The things they sell in the streets, just like a little, you know, the little disc that they make and sell. Well, not anymore. They used to do that. Now they just put everything on Spotify. Yeah, to me, it is very artistic, and there is a lot of artistry that goes into it. And I find inspiration for the Open and all of these tests, not within CrossFit, mostly from outside of CrossFit. And for me to stay fresh and motivated and inspired, I read a lot, and I actually I read Don Quixote a couple years ago. So I read a lot, and I stay away from, and I used to go to theater a lot when I lived down south in San Diego. Now up here where I live, the nearest playhouse theater is kind of far, so I haven't gone in a while. I watch a lot of other sports. I watch a lot of other events, and I try to find inspiration outside of CrossFit. Because if you just look within CrossFit, I feel like, especially at my stage where I've been doing this for a really long time, I can just get stagnant and recycle and redo things. So I need to stay fresh by taking myself out of CrossFit to make myself better for CrossFit.
Nice.
So would you say that's your special secret to make sure that people enjoy the Open and the fittest athletes in the world get to be on the top of the leaderboard, on the top of the leaderboard?
Yeah,
Sorry
it's
about
tough. So programming the Opens, but let me do this. I'm going to reverse back to about 5 minutes ago when I was talking before I asked you guys how it was there. There was one point where I was going somewhere with that, and it was the question was about like this year and the challenges. Well, so one of the things we did was make the Open 3 weeks long, and to help affiliates. So so you guys don't have to plan for 5 weeks. So you can plan for 3 weeks and try to just push through it, get through it, and then go back to the other issues we're dealing with in the world. In terms of the programming, also, this is going to answer the question you just asked, kind of, in that we put out a gear list, and we greatly reduced the amount of equipment that's required. So people who are training at their gyms or who are able to go to training at home don't need as much stuff. People who are going to go to a gym might not need to pull out as much stuff. So trying to limit the options of equipment to make it more readily accessible to the world and to all gyms. And then the actual workouts. So yeah, obviously can't talk too much about that yet, but there's a balance where like everybody needs to be able to do it to a certain degree. And I say everybody needs to be able to do it. The truth of the matter is, and there's always been some tension around this notion though, is like the RX, like for everyone to do the RX, you still have to know CrossFit and you have to do CrossFit. And like there is some level of CrossFitting experience you have to have. And frankly, that's okay. And meaning like to do RX, it's not for people right off the street. People have to be familiar with CrossFit. The scaled of years past was a step better, meaning it gave people options who couldn't do the weights that are in RX to actually play and participate. But still, when I look back at the feedback from years past, even the scaled options for a lot of people are still too heavy and still too challenging. And so that's why this year we added foundations. And all foundations is in another layer of scaling. So you have RX, you have scaled, and then you have foundations, which could be just considered super scaled. And really what we look at with foundations, why it's super inclusive of everyone, is this idea of, I want people to think we're going to prescribe weights, or we're going to prescribe movements for foundations. But as a coach or as an affiliate owner or as a coach within an affiliate, scale additionally if needed. Meaning if what we're prescribing at this third level of scale is still too much for someone who wants to be involved, well, go ahead and if we say, so let's say RX is a 50-pound dumbbell, scale is 35, and then foundations is 20, but 20 is too much for your client that you want to do it, well, have them use 10. It's okay. It's, you know, it's all about just engagement and having them push themselves and do what they can do.
Absolutely. I think actually one of the biggest mistakes that we can make is to present the open as something that only the fittest people can do, because the name gives it all. It's like the open for everybody. And you can do it even if you have been doing CrossFit for 2 weeks, and that's okay. Actually, we use, this year is going to be different. We are pretty much like Edu right now, 1 week away, and we don't know what are we going to do. But we used to work with NGOs, so we can collect a lot of money. So people maybe started last week and they were joining the open, and that was amazing. That was great. So probably that's the main information we can give away about the open right now to all the people that is in our current situation without being able to do what we were used to able to do, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Dave, you said before you were speaking about the duration of the open and these 3 weeks, that it seems like it's just because of all the situation. But don't you think that this new format of 3 weeks plus 2, but at the end of the day, it's going to be 5 weeks for the top athletes? Don't you think it's a little bit better for people like my mom? I mean, she's maybe enough with 3 weeks, and then the athletes that wants to compete at the highest level, it's okay to make them competing for 5 weeks. And I'm pretty sure that it's going to be more than 5 workouts for because of the last 2 weeks. So I think, in my opinion, this 3+2 is an excellent balance between the regular Joes that want to do the open and the top athletes that wants to make a try to make the semifinals, the old regionals, or the games.
Absolutely, you nailed it, and that's exactly what it is. Like, the 3 weeks is not only better for the affiliates, but it's better for a majority, call it 90% of the athletes who sign up who don't want to go anywhere or who have no aspirations of advancing to a next level. It's a shorter time frame to focus on and give your effort to, rather than 5 weeks. And so, you're right. It is definitely better for the average CrossFitter than doing 5 weeks.
For me, it is.
For me, it is.
Yeah. Telmo, you want to ask something else?
Well, probably I would like to ask, I don't know, for those people that are in a position to classify for the games this year, what is going to be the main trajectory for them? I think it's pretty blurry right now, so maybe you can give us some insight. I know it's a very complex thing to do, but I don't know if you have something to share with us.
I don't understand the question.
Yeah, for example, we have this year the 5 CrossFit Open events, and then after that, for example, the fittest girl and boy in Spain, how are they gonna be able to get to the CrossFit Games?
Okay, so there's 3. But the way we're looking at it is there's 3 open events. There's the 3 weeks, and then there's a little break, and then there's the quarterfinals that are also happening online. So someone from Spain, a top-level athlete from Spain, would have to do well in the open. They'd have to finish in the top 10% to then go to the quarterfinals, and then from the quarterfinals, based on their continent, so your athletes would be in the continent of Europe, there'd be 2 semifinals that they're qualifying for. And so 60 athletes, 60 out of the 10% from Europe. It's going to be hard, and it's going to be the best in Europe that advance to the next stage will then qualify for 2 events that they can go to.
Nice. Dave, let me ask you something about more of the business side. I know you are 100% in the sports side, but I'd like to know, how do you see the future and the vision of CrossFit 10 years to go with this changing in the direction Eric Roth and the road that you are taking?
For CrossFit?
Yeah. I mean, sorry, you have like these little other names that maybe they get bigger, like F45 and Orange Theory, that at the end of the day, they are like a reduction of CrossFit, and you cannot understand them without being CrossFit here for more than 20 years. And they are taking what CrossFit show us and changing a little bit. So I don't know if it's going to change a little bit the pace of CrossFit for the next 10 years, for example.
Well, I think we'll continue to grow, and I think we'll win back some of the people that we've lost over the years with some, just how we're being really the change in perspective towards how we communicate and how we engage with our community is going to go a long ways. We kind of went through this phase where we came off social media, we were silent, and we just did our own thing, and we expected the community to just do its own thing and support us at the same time. And that kind of caught up to us and didn't work well. Now we're taking a different approach, and we're going to help build our community. We're going to help make our affiliates successful. We're going to want them to succeed. We're going to want all of the individuals within CrossFit to succeed, our athletes, our affiliate owners, our trainers, the participants. And it'll create an environment where people that are doing F45 or Orange Theory or some of these other things, they're going to recognize who the real kids are and who the real players on the street are. They're going to recognize who the cool kids in the community are, who the badasses in their neighborhood are. And it's not going to be the people in F45 gyms and Orange Theory gyms. They're going to be like, man, I want to be with the CrossFitters down the street. They get it. They're having fun. They're really cool. They're a good community, and they support each other. And so we have some work to do. You know, we had this great growth, and we laid the foundation, like you said, for people like F45 and Orange Theory. And then we kind of slipped a little, and now we're just regaining our momentum and regaining our direction, and we'll gain it all back, gain them all back. And those 2 brands, they'll continue to survive too, and they'll be out there, and that's fine. But also there's a point too where I don't know much about Orange Theory and the workouts they do. I know a little bit about F45. There's also a point where people are going to recognize who's doing CrossFit and not calling it CrossFit, and who the real deal is, and that's significant. We're obviously, all of us on this call are the real deal.
Yeah.
Do you have around your box or your boxes in this case any F45, Edu?
No. There's no any F45 or Orange Theory in the place where I live, and in the big city, Barcelona. You know Barcelona, Dave?
Yeah. Yep. Been there.
I think in Barcelona there's one of them, but no. And you if you talk about that, nobody knows what the F45 and Orange Theory in Barris Bootcamp are. Nobody.
Well, yeah, I remember when we opened Artabros in the first place, we were the first box in the whole province. So it was like CrossFit, what the hell that is, you know? And now it's like CrossFit everywhere, and that's fine. Yeah. And that's amazing, seeing that everyone can grow and actually make the community stronger. That's something amazing, unbelievable, that I haven't seen before. And hopefully it's going to be, like you said before, in crescendo, like the Italians say, right? Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be great. I'm really sure about that. And actually, guys, you made a big announcement 2 days ago by presenting No Bull as the new title partner for the CrossFit Games. And I wonder, what was the reason behind this? Why not partnering maybe again with Reebok or making a new kind of partnership with Nike instead?
Well, our Reebok contract was up, so it'd been 10 years. The whole time when we did the partnership with Reebok, it was a decade, a 10-year partnership. And over the years, for this year was the final year of it, actually not 2021, 2020. And, you know, we talked to them, we talked to Nike, we also talked to Noble, and we went through these discussions with multiple partners and multiple players. And Noble was really making a lot of sense, and they were really interested. And I like it a lot because I like change. I like new teams, new people to work with, and I'm excited about the partnership. And I think it'll be a nice break. Nothing against Reebok, but a nice change and nice way of mixing it up and moving on from one partner to another partner. And I hold no bad will towards Reebok or nothing like that, and no one on our team does either. But we both decided to go in different directions, and I'm really excited about working with Noble.
Nice. Dave,
I'm not familiar with their product though. They've sent me some stuff, but I've worn Reebok for so long, for 10 years, and so I never, even as Noble was coming up, I never really had any of their stuff or Nike stuff, and so it'll be interesting to start working out in their shoes and their equipment and seeing how it is.
I know that feeling.
Really
10 years is a long time.
But
yeah.
Dave, I've got one more question for you about CrossFit, and then I have one non-related CrossFit question. But I'm gonna ask first the question about CrossFit. We've seen for the last 2 years like a short form of CrossFit games because of the pandemic and because of the cuts. But we've seen 5 people CrossFit games final. And then we have all the old-fashioned CrossFit games like 40 people. Which one do you prefer? You prefer CrossFit games with 40 people, or you prefer CrossFit game with 5 people?
The CrossFit games with 5 people was a lot of fun and really cool. It doesn't make sense any other year but this year because of COVID. I would prefer that going forward, but you wouldn't get the right amount of people there. I really do believe to have the right amount of people, you need around 30 to 40 there. I think 150, or where we were 2 years ago, was way too many. So it's interesting. We had these 3 extremes. We had way too many. We have, I think, what's the sweet spot? And then, 5 was a lot of fun, and I liked it, but it's too few. And we had to do that because of the restrictions with COVID, and it was the only way we were going to make the games happen.
I really want to ask one quick question. How did it feel to send all the athletes away this year in the CrossFit Games when they thought they were finished with the run and then they have to turn back and you with the gun like on you? That was so fun to watch, but probably not fun.
I didn't have.
Where did you take the inspiration from that?
I didn't have the gun because of that. I had the gun because it's up in the hills, and in case a mountain lion came out or animals came out, I could protect the athletes or myself. That was a lot of fun. It was something I had in play for a really long time, a few months, and I knew we were going to do it. And it was, I knew it was going to be a huge twist and surprise. I didn't expect Matt to react the way he did, but I thought that was funny. But I was really happy with that. And that was one of the things one of the ways we were creative in Aromas, and one of the things we could do there when there is no fans. I think with fans and a big event, it would have been hard to pull something like that off. But in that environment with a smaller number of people, we were able to make that happen. And so I really enjoyed it, and I thought it was cool.
It was, definitely was. Yeah, I thought too.
Telmo, you want to say something about Matt Fraser?
Oh, well, Matt Fraser, probably we can talk about the retirement, right? I think it was the biggest news probably in this 2021 about CrossFit. watching Matt Fraser go and doing the retirement thing. What do you think about that?
Oh, I don't care. It's funny. Like, I really don't. Like, I'm not a fan. I am a fan. I mean, but I'm also not a fan at all. And like, when Rich Froning retired, people were like, oh, that's going to hurt your sport. And what are you guys going to do now? And I was like, hey, there's nothing to worry about, because there's always going to be other people and other athletes that are hungry and want to fill that spot. And right away, Matt Fraser did when Rich retired. And then Matt Fraser, he's in that same spot now. And a lot of people have asked me, what do you think about Matt retiring? I'm like, good on him. I mean, I don't really care. And the sport's going to be fine. And honestly, it's going to be better without him, only because now this next year, we're going to have a great battle for the men's competition.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of unknown, not unknown, but there's a bunch of athletes who are going to fight for that first spot, and it'll create a really competitive event. And so I wish him luck. What I'm saying, I'm not speaking ill of him, or I'm not trying to downplay his contribution to the sport, but I'm answering it from my perspective. Like, cool, I'm glad he moved on. I don't really care. If he stayed too, I really wouldn't care either. It's like, it's what it is. It's fine. It's part of it. Let me just say this and then I'm done on this. It's part of the sport, and it's part of running a sport. I mean, I've been doing this for 12 years and I've seen a lot of athletes come and go. So I don't really have a lot of feelings for when someone like him retires. It doesn't matter to me.
I just wanted to say that I never know if you finished the sentence because of the delay on the internet. I just wanted to say that I think that far from damage the sport, it's going to help the sport. I mean, in my opinion, and it's just my opinion as a spectator,
it's going to be an improvement. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's a little bit boring to see the same guy winning over and over. So I think this year, at least this year, it's going to have something else to see. Otherwise, maybe it's going to be, okay, and again, Matt Fraser, for me, it's going to be helpful. It's not going to be damaged.
Yeah, I agree too. I agree.
Absolutely, I agree too. Maybe actually Edu would like to ask about another kind of rivalry.
No, look, it's a question that I have in my mind for a long time, and I assure you, I never thought I could have the chance to ask you. So I have to use this opportunity. A long time ago, I watched you with a T-shirt of Real Madrid. You know what Real Madrid is?
Oh, yeah, of course I do.
Okay, and I never, you know, here in Catalonia and in Spain, there's a lot of rivalry between Real Madrid and Barcelona, and I never knew if you were wearing this T-shirt, because we were watching the Super Bowl with Dan Bailey, I think, and I never knew if you were wearing the T-shirt because of Real Madrid or because of James, the player that the T-shirt wear. So I would like you to tell me if you're a Real Madrid fan, or is it just because of James, or because just the present, or what it is. Well, there's a lot of people in Spain that want to know if you're a Real Madrid fan or no.
I don't care. I just wanna see Dave answering this, but I don't really care if
it's like Lakers and Celtics.
Yeah, like a Barca fan or.
I really appreciate great teams and great athletes, and talking about like how I find inspiration in looking at other sports. At the time, Ronaldo was on Real Madrid. And so I followed him a little, and I followed the club and saw how great the club was. James is a Colombian baller. Yeah. And so I like South America, and, you know, there was a reason for all of that. And, it is out of my acknowledgement and some of the diverse sports I do watch. I'm not a huge soccer fan, but at that time I was diving into that world a little. And it was out of respect for that club and how dominant and how great they are in the world of soccer. And so yes, it had to do with the club and the player too.
Yeah. Okay, I'm not a Real Madrid fan, but I will understand you because Ronaldo looks like a CrossFitter, so I'm gonna make a point on you.
He's kind of a skinny. He's like a little too ripped. He's like a skinny CrossFitter.
Yeah, yeah, he is.
It's the Chris Spiller of the Real Madrid, like really ripped.
Yeah.
Well. Actually, now I would like to ask, what's your favorite sport besides CrossFit? Because you find a lot of inspiration, like you said, in other sports. And what kind of sport would you choose?
Well, so for me to participate in, I really like shooting sports. I do a lot of shooting competitions here in the States, pistol and long range rifle. And so that's the type of thing I like to compete in. For watching, I'm a big fan of American football. And I've gone through phases where I followed MotoGP really closely. I've gone through phases where I followed F1. I also like American basketball around the playoffs and around the finals, but not necessarily the regular season. So football, basketball, I like those a lot. And I like playing basketball too. I also like running a lot. And so in addition to doing CrossFit, I enjoy running. So I'll run for training sometimes too, in addition to like in a 3-day cycle, maybe one of those days is a hard 3-mile run.
Nice. What about fighting sports?
Oh yeah. So I like boxing a lot. I like MMA. I like boxing more than I like MMA. And I actually play around with boxing a little bit and just do some bag work and enjoy that. I enjoy that sport.
I'm going to say something that probably not Nat or Edu knows. I was an MMA fighter for a period of my life. I even got to fight in a cage when I was younger. So it was fun. It was really, really fun. Yeah. Not at the moment, but looking back, it's great.
It's more fun if you know Telmo, because Telmo is like this stoic guy in Spain that never say a wrong word, and it's really polite with everybody and really humble and I cannot imagine him fighting a guy in a cage. It's like the last thing I can imagine.
Actually, it's a really respectful thing to do, to fight one another. And you have rules, you have your sportsmanship, and you can go face to face and fist to fist and just enjoy the ride, right? It doesn't have to be opposite things. You can actually complement them.
I also like tennis and golf. So Rafael Nadal, and I'll watch those sports sometimes, and so I mix it up.
Nice. Telmo, have you got something else?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I can be for hours with Dave. It's like the opportunity of a lifetime. Actually, we were together once in a disco here in Spain when you guys make the Invitational in Madrid. It was
Invitational?
Invitational, in Madrid. And people went crazy, like really, really crazy. As soon as you guys got there, it was Camille, it was Rich Froning, it was Dan Bailey. It was like, these people are going to get smashed by bodies of just fans. It was like the first time I thought, this is getting really, really big.
No, I mean, and it was, I do remember that night. I do remember that party. We ended up doing a little, we sectioned it off and we had a competition of some sort. I forgot what we did, but
dance off.
Dance off. We did have a dance off. I thought it was a dance off, but we had a dance off. And I kind of organized the dance off as like protection for everything and for everyone. And so like to kind of keep our athletes safe, because people were really excited and like just swarming everyone. But it was a lot of fun, and I enjoyed that evening.
Yeah, it was really beautiful to see. Oh, what?
I was there that night also. I remember Dave, but I don't remember you. But I'm pretty sure that it was your last time. It was your last time in a discotheque, right? You never went to a discotheque anymore.
Probably one of the last ones. Yeah, absolutely, without any doubt. But I don't remember you either, so it's fine. Don't care.
I was there.
Don't give it a second thought.
All the Spanish CrossFit was there.
Yeah, I think so. And actually getting into the retrospective side of things and looking ahead, with this 2020, that it has been a really tough year all around the globe, and even for CrossFit HQ, that now is CrossFit LLC, right?
Yes.
You guys had gone through a great deal of changes. So how does 2021 look like? And what we as affiliates and what our people can expect from this 2021 and the 2022 season?
Well, in terms of the sport, I think like we're moving forward and everything's going forward, and like there's no looking back in the rear mirror. I think we have a lot of strong momentum and a lot of speed going in a positive direction, and we're just going to keep carrying that forward. I'm excited about all things CrossFit related, the sport and the community and the affiliates, especially once we get past all these lockdowns with COVID and all this stuff we're going through. I think the energy, the enthusiasm, the amount people are going to want to work out and train is just going to skyrocket. So CrossFit, in my eyes, CrossFit the company, CrossFit the affiliates, CrossFit the trainers, it's all, we're on this edge of just explosion, because so many people, once given a little freedom, are going to want to get in shape, and they realize that's probably the best defense against something like this. So it's a great, as bad as 2020 was, we're in a great time for the future and going forward that I'm excited about.
That's really great to hear. Well, Dave, honestly, I can stay for hours just asking questions, and probably there's going to be a lot of people that listen to this and watching to this is going to be like, please just ask that, and we didn't. But I know you're a really busy guy, and we are, at least in my place, I can say that I'm really thankful for all that you do. And well, I don't know.
Well, thank you guys. I really appreciate being on the show with you guys, and hopefully one of these days I'll make it back out there for some event. I don't know what, but we'll hang out and we'll go to a discotheque again.
Dave, just let me tell you again the same words than Telmo. Thank you for being here, and thank you for dedicating this time to us and to all the Spanish community. It's going to be really helpful for everyone. Okay, so just once again, thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you
very much, Dave.
Thank you so much, Dave.
Thank you, guys. Have a good one.
Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
You too.
Bye.
Thank you.